I called Dad after one of our meetings and I was like, I'm not doing well. I feel like a petulant child when I show up to these meetings, and I'm the leader of we're co-leaders on this team, and I should show up to the meeting owning it. I don't know what's wrong with me that the meetings are happening to me. I didn't say that line. You said that line, and it was like, yeah, exactly. You were saying, yeah, I want to be better at these meetings too. I let these meetings happen to me every morning. And then we started talking about like, how do we do our business not so that it's not happening to us? We're not just taking whatever comes and trying to do our best with it, but creating our own destiny and business and client base and making the most of the meetings and owning everything in our world. And we were I personally was not doing that.
Well, I think don't take it all on yourself. I think we were both doing that. It's easy. It's so easy to get in a rut. Not just in that specific situation, but in so many situations. Like back when I had more businesses and more employees, I would schedule meetings and managers would schedule meetings that I would attend. And I got in the habit of not being proactive about my life. One of the Stephen Covey things. Not being proactive, and I let the meetings happen to me. And you kind of get that, no, I got to go to another meeting.
Right.
I'm going to go to the meeting and I'm going to have to listen to a bunch of crap I don't want to listen to. I'm going to have to do some stuff I really don't want to do. Oh, well, I guess that's the way it is. I got to go.
Even if you said it yourself, I think that's
and I was the president of the company. It's like, there is no food chain above me, really. It's like, it's really not anybody else's fault.
I'm like, wow, you're forcing me to do this. But like, who?
I got to go to that employee meeting.
I'm forcing myself. It's like, I'm mad at my past self for making me do this.
Right. Yeah. So and I got in that trap, but those meetings are pretty early, or not pretty early, but they're in the morning. And I'm enjoying my morning up until that meeting. And it's the first thing that I really have to do.
I'm really enjoying my meeting in the morning until that meeting.
And actually, I enjoy the meeting, but yeah, just like you, I would, Jay, our assistant, basically she's like an office manager. She's awesome. We love her to death. She always shows up present, prepared, ready to go, and she runs the meeting. And we just got in the habit of letting her run the meeting. And then it's like, well, it's kind of her meeting, and I wonder what we're going to have to talk about today. Right. But she's really doing the stuff for us. That's the problem. We're not showing up. We're showing up for the meeting,
which
but
makes
we're
me
just
feel
letting
like
it happen to us.
A bad leader, because I am in that moment and in that way. I have been a bad leader. It's
easy to be that way. I think we can all do that.
She's so good. And that's what we were talking about. We're like, we have this high-powered person and if we're looking at the business as a structure we're creating, we're all tools for that. We're all
adding value in our way to whatever.
Yes. And she's so high-powered, and
we have to be present. We have to show up. We have to be proactive.
Yeah. We have to rise. And that's saying, so rising to the occasion of our, not just our dreams and our goals, but our team and our team members, because she's a team member. Mm-hmm. So, she's hungry to do great work, and I want to be great for her and for Emma and for Marco and for you. And for Mom, who's also on our team, I want to be that person. And so I was asking you about that, and you made this comment of preparing, and instead of letting the meetings happen to you, if you prepare before. And will you explain a little bit about that? I think it's super useful, and maybe it'll be useful for other people.
For some background, back some time ago, not long after you were born, as a matter of fact, I went through the facilitator training for 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I got to fly to Utah, went to Stephen Covey's compound, actually met Stephen Covey, and did some training with him.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, you were pretty little at the time. I don't talk about it much. But Stephen Covey had a number of books, but the big book was 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And there are 7 habits. And the number 1, which is what brought it up in this conversation, is to be proactive. Focus and act on the things that we can control and influence, and then don't worry about the stuff that we can't control and influence, but make sure that we are engaged. And we weren't doing that with our morning meetings. We were just letting them happen to us.
Yeah.
And then the 7 habits, if you want, I can rifle those off pretty quickly. Second habit was begin with the end in mind. Obviously, that makes sense. Put first things first. What are the priorities that you're going to do after you have that end in mind?
Yeah.
Then the next thing, think win-win. How is this a win-win for everybody? It should be win-win or no deal. If you and I can't be partners in our business relationship, if there isn't a win for me and a win for you, we shouldn't be doing it. It should be 1 + 1 = 3. So that, which moves into another habit. But seek first to understand, then to be understood. That's a thing that you do and practice all the time.
Thanks.
You always, it's like, okay, let me understand you first, because I know you won't hear me until you feel understood. You just naturally have always done that. So you're awesome at that. The next one's synergize, which is that 1 + 1 = 3. Look for those, not only the win-win, but how can we take your win and my win, and we both end up with 3 instead of just the 2, your 1 and my 1. And then the last one is sharpen the saw. You spend time just getting better at it. And they always use the analogy of a guy out in the woods cutting, and he's just cutting and cutting and cutting, and he's just taking forever to get through this log. And somebody comes up and says, "Why don't you sharpen your saw?" And he said, "I don't have time. I'm too busy cutting." Where if he just sharpened the saw, it would go way faster.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's going to change the way I do everything from now on. That one. Wow. You know, the one thing I want to say about the 7 habits, besides the fact that sharpening the saw just rocked my whole world, is the first 2 that you said sounded like Simon Sinek, start with why. Like, start with why. I've been doing that in my life a lot since we had that conversation. And I used to do it, but since we had that conversation, and now before I go do anything, or most things, I ask myself, wait, why? What's my main goal? What am I hoping to get out of this? So when I go to physical therapy, I'm like, I want my ankle to be even stronger than it was before I shattered it into a million pieces. And when I go to the meetings now, before I get into the meeting, I'm like, why am I in this meeting? Who do I want to be in this meeting? And how do I want to help other people in the meeting? How do I want everyone to walk away from this meeting? How do I be my best self here?
I just love that Covey stuff. I need to get back into it because it was amazing.
We should do it. Dad, I bought the book. You have the book. And I have the online version too. We should do it like a book club, you and me. Well,
we could do that.
Yeah, we can read it at the same time.
We could get other people to do it with us.
Oh my gosh, that would be really fun. Join our 7 habits for highly effective people book club. And
yeah, we could do that and do like 1 habit a week and just do it for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And be done with it.
Yeah. And then we have like a Zoom meeting every week that is, hey, everybody, okay, let's go. Each person gets a few minutes to talk about it. If you would be interested, comment, please, or DM.
Well, that was spontaneous.